My name is Brianna, and I welcome you to the Tales of Adventure, a D&D podcast like no other.
My name is Carlo Manuel Magana. Incredibly hard to say, I apologize. I play Lorento Ryder, which is much easier to say.
Why is it everywhere I go, there's either a god trying to destroy the world, or there's a word about to break out? I just want, for once, to go somewhere nice and to not have people trying to kill me.
That sounds lovely. If you ever find the place, could you send me a letter?
I will. Also, sorry, didn't mean. No one's sitting here, right?
Well, Pip is a little mousekin, but I think she's a little distracted over at the bar. She likes to nip a bit.
Alright, I try to not steal people's seats, but I'm just a little distracted. I can move if she needs.
I'm sure it's fine, darling. She gets distracted.
So I gathered I've dealt with people of her kin before. They're helpful for certain things, but they're also... It's fun keeping them on track. My name's Istra, by the way.
Istra. Interesting name. Lorento Ryder. Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you as well. I don't suppose you know anything about the... Well, you probably know something about everything that's going on here.
I know a fair bit, yeah. The orcish uprisings, for better or worse, they're going well, depending on who you ask, and they're going terribly, depending on who you ask.
Naturally, I'm hoping I'll be able to try and negotiate some things, but it very much depends on multiple factors. I just got here, so I have no idea.
Always does, always does. If I could offer a little bit of advice on dealing with the orcs, don't be afraid. Be respectful, but don't devalue your own position. And have as many big, strong, mean people that do whatever you tell them to do right behind you. That'll help a lot.
Noted. I guess you have some experience yourself in dealing with the orcs.
A little bit. A few months back, we had to deal with, we'll call it a kidnapping. Me and my friends here, the meaty-looking dwarf woman over there and Pip over there, we had to, we'll say, negotiate a surrender of a criminal.
That's a tricky thing to negotiate.
Well, Zwergenfleisch, the dwarven woman, her approach to negotiations were a very large help in the matter. See, he did not want to be brought to justice. He was against that. And her acts had a completely different point of view.
Fair. Sometimes that is the most efficient way of negotiating with certain people.
It's a shame when it comes to it, but every once in a while, spare the rod, right?
What did you want the criminal for?
Long past crimes and new. He'd been leading raids outside of his specified territory. Which, terrible to be locked in a territory like that. It's not even a territory. To be concentrated like that. It's monstrous. But the response of going into a town and attacking it and burning and killing civilians, that's not exactly a good negotiation. For the Zorgenfleisch, it was a bit more personal.
Not at all, though. I can't imagine what it's like being trapped, so it's not a place I would like to be, ever.
No, I've been in a cell. It's not fun. You can call it whatever you like. It's a gilded cell, a nice cage, whatever it is, or a big open plane you're not allowed to go because of your race. None of them are acceptable.
Do you have any idea why they're being kept like that? Doesn't seem very fair.
It isn't. You're not from around here.
No, new here. Friend told me that things were starting to get heated, so I figured I'd come see how I can help.
Oh, good on you. I'm not from the region myself, but 2 years ago they had a huge influx. Orcs just sort of arrived and started tearing through the place. Not the best introduction. When they were beaten back, they were left with nowhere to go, wherever they originally came from. Gone, or at least their path to it is gone. So now they're stuck, and they're angry. They were trapped in these little areas, saying, if you leave, we'll kill you. and this time we'll kill all of you. And being the last of a race makes it a little easier to put up with certain things, at least to a point. Maybe that's simply coming to a head, or maybe whatever it is that brought them here originally, maybe that's coming to a head. Who knows?
Tricky situation indeed. I do feel rather sad for them. It's never an enviable position to be trapped away from your home with no way to return.
It's very true. Actually, when Zorgenfleisch was done with that bastard, without their very poor leadership, the people were much more accommodating. I remember leaving, and we were actually thanked by some of them. Truly poor leadership can turn people into monsters. Without that monster in charge, they were people again. I met one woman. She was very kind. She had a daughter about Pip's size. I gave her a little coin, and I wished her luck, knowing that a little coin and a little luck only gets you so far. It wasn't so bad, but if you heard about it about a month ago, there was a raid, and her tribe was killed.
That's
Well, we have no idea if she was with them, but
terrible.
yeah. Right now, I'm looking for the commander that put in that little suggestion to the king. Like words with him.
Fair enough. If I find out who that is, I might have words with him myself. This is very much a mess of a situation.
Aye, it is, but we keep on. We find something to do about it. We cry about it. Or we sing songs. And despite my appearance, I'm a terrible singer.
So are you not a bard, or you strike me as one?
Oh, I'm a bard. I am. We spend a little time with music. Poetry, prose, that sort of thing.
You prefer word over song?
For me, on taste, we prefer song. There is nothing more soothing than a good melody sung by a ruby-throated kind angel. However, my voice sounds a bit like, well, ridiculous. But a turn of phrase, for that I'm gifted.
Fair enough. I can respect that, and it's also a strong suit of mine as well. It's easy to hide things in words when you know how to use them.
True. You can hide anything you need, or you can be razor sharp and clear and specific.
And if you know how to use them, there's not much you can't do.
That's what I'm finding out.
Who knows, maybe even one well-placed word, the right moment, to the right person, could help calm things down and stop this from turning into an all-out war. It's a bit of a long shot, but one can hope, right?
One can always hope.
So if you're not from here, where are you from?
Oh, well, that's a bit personal. Far, far to the east. We'll leave it at that, if you'll let me.
Fair enough, I won't pry. I understand sometimes people don't always want to share everything with strangers.
Though I forgot you're a stranger. I'll tell you this, there are people might be looking for me far off to the east. We'd rather not give them any clues. Unless you're an assassin here working for them, then we can't be friends. I would take that personally.
Don't worry, I'm not here as an assassin working for anyone. I'm here seeing what I can do. I have some friends in the area who gave me hints as to something going on. They were rather cryptic, of course, because none of these spies I work with can be straightforward about things, but I highly doubt I'm here for anything to do with you. Plus, if I was, I would find some way to make both parties happy. There are ways to make a person disappear without killing them.
That's true, I suppose. Functionally, I've done it before, at least once.
How so?
Well, like I said, not welcome too far to the east. This continent, as long as everyone knows Lorento Ryder, they have no problem with it. Well, that's not true. Plenty of people have problems with me, but what are you going to do?
I find if there isn't at least someone who doesn't like you wherever you are, you're probably doing something wrong. At least if you're trying to be a hero.
I'm not a hero. I'm a coward. I just end up... Well, I travel with heroes. That's what I do.
But you're trying to help, yes?
I'm trying to help. That's what everyone should do.
Fair, but unfortunately not everyone does.
No, we'd all get along a lot better if everyone did. But no, we don't.
So what else has been going on here? Any other strange things, or...
At the moment, we're looking for someone. Zorgenfleisch over there, she had her eye on a very fancy new axe. She finally got it. finally got it. And it decided that she needed to start killing people. And not just anyone who gave her a good reason. Well, there's plenty others, people who didn't have a good reason to die. So now we're looking for the one who gave it to her. So there's that.
That is rather problematic.
It is, like you said, right word, right time can bring a lot of calm and peace. That's my specialty.
True indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good specialty to have, especially in times such as these.
We think she's still a little mad at me, but it had to be done.
I'm sure she'll come to forgive you in time.
I think so.
People hold grudges, but you are her friend, no? You've both protected each other before?
Aye. She saved my life many times. I don't know if we've saved her life. I'm not sure anything could kill her. But should anything get any close, they will have to go through me, paper thin as that is.
Then I'm sure she will eventually come to forgive you.
That would be lovely, because I'm very tired of getting socked in the mouth every morning.
Every morning?
Aye, every morning. Once in the face. As a little reminder.
I suppose it could be worse. At least she's upfront about getting her revenge on you. If she was being more sneaky, I would be more concerned.
I'd put up with it. A sock in the mouth is not as bad as an axe to the back of the head. She still has the axe.
True. And if she really wanted to hurt you, she would probably do it when you can't do anything to fight back.
Right. Tiny little pieces.
Yep.
Lord, I'd probably be a chutney by now.
Probably.
If you're hanging out for a while, this tavern, I'm told, has an excellent ale. Bit lemony, like a sour.
I would be very curious to try that, especially after the day I've had. I've got a bit of a headache right now.
I apologize, I haven't asked a single question about your day. You've been asking me all these questions.
Sorry, I realize I can sometimes chart at the conversations. As I said, new to the area, trying to figure out what's going on. Getting here wasn't particularly easy, because I had to dodge around some people who for some reason already don't like me, but I'm used to that.
Well, if you could use a hand with people who don't like you, come find us. We're good at dealing with people who are disagreeable.
I will definitely have to keep that in mind. Is there anything else useful to know about this area? Both navigating and good people to talk to, and maybe things that need investigating?
Let's see. Oh, well, there is the woods to the north. But be careful. If you head along the northeastern branch, look out for cockatrice. Terrible birds, turn you to stone. And if you see a little village made up of kind and rambunctious mousekin, be polite. They're very sweet. But if you're not polite, they have ways of correcting behavior. But they're absolute gems otherwise.
I get the feeling you've traveled much around here.
Just this region. Well, I'm only just getting started, I think.
Well, I imagine there's plenty to explore. What are some of the other things you've run into so far?
Well, let's see. There's this necromancer. Looking for him as well. I'm planning to do something absolutely terrible to him. Not sure what. Maybe something with fire. He's supposed to be in those woods as well, but he's far to the southwest. That's why I've been suggesting northeast. More fun.
What exactly did he do to anger you?
I'm not entirely privy to explain it all, but he was involved with the death of the king. You may have heard he died suddenly of heart failure. This necromancer, we believe, helped him along with that.
I actually was planning on investigating that at some point. Anytime a king dies suddenly like that, with all that's going on, very suspicious.
Yes. You didn't hear it from me, or you did. At this point, I don't know. But we're going to find him. We have a good idea of where he is, and he doesn't know we're coming. Keep it a secret, if you would. We think there was something. We don't know exactly why he wanted the boy to be fatherless so early. And believe me, I have some arguments for life without a father, but not like this. Not acceptable. So we're going to find him and bring him to the queen.
How old is the boy?
Well, he's a little one. 6, 5. I'm not for children. I'm not.
Far too young.
His mother is the queen, of course, angelic, and she'll be fine ruling for a while now. But the disruption will be minor otherwise. She's in charge, everything's fine, but we still don't know exactly why he wanted this child to be fatherless. He has no political aspirations, the wizard. He has no, that we can find, no other affiliation. He's not another political faction or something. He just either sowing chaos, which should be stopped, or he has some grand plan that we don't even understand. Beyond sending people to flesh dimensions, which we really can't abide that.
Pardon me, he did what?
Right. Well, I didn't go. Haha. He used his magics, and I was a little bit too early for him. Dragonfly and Pip over there, however, they got poofed away. They ended up in some place. The way they described it, it looked like they were inside of a ham covered with too much dressing. Wet flesh everywhere they could see. The walls, stalagmites, and some sort of creature howling and scraping through, barreling towards them. Luckily, the spell didn't last very long. I kicked them in the head. Well, did more of a power slide.
Horrifying.
They're still a bit shaken up by it. Lucky I didn't go. I probably would still be there crying and sniveling. But I hurt him. I hurt him bad. Broke concentration. They were back. He ran away. The coward. Takes one to know one. I can say that.
I guess good thing is he's learned to not underestimate you. And your friends were returned with no serious harm done, although I imagine they're going to need some time to get over what they saw.
They're doing what they can. Drinking.
Flesh dimension sounds like a special kind of hell.
Possibly. I've never read anything describing hell quite like that, but something like that.
Do you have any more leads on what he's doing or who he might be working with?
Not yet. But we'll beat it out of him. I'll have Zergunfleisch beat it out of him. I'll supervise.
Sounds fair and very much deserving, but part of me wonders, since he has no personal reason, as far as you can tell, to want this to happen, I wondered if someone else does who's making it worth his while.
We're in like mind of that. There's something pulling the strings behind him, and he's just kind of going along with it. I doubt he's the end of it, but again, I'm only just getting started.
Now I'm starting to wonder if whatever's behind him is part of why the orcs have been trapped here. They could be pawns in the game, or they could be behind it.
That makes sense. Reason to believe. That means they're victims too.
I find often when people are trapped without the way back home, they weren't willing participants in what happened. If you're the willing participant, you make sure you have a back door. Unless they don't want to return home. Though at this point, I feel like they probably would. I imagine the place they are being contained is not particularly pleasant.
They're badlands. Nothing grows. The weather is absolute garbage. They have little timber to make domiciles. They're being treated like animals. Less than animals. We feed animals. And they can be surly. They can be cruel. And they can be monstrous. And so can the orcs.
No one race or creed is better than the other, I find. There's good and bad in everything. Where you're from or how you're born does not define who you are.
We certainly hope not. It's what we do. Those opportunities to do better come up. What do you do? Are you better than or are you less than? I'm a little bit impractical when it comes to that sort of things. So, I believe, do the best thing you can do. And if it's wrong, you're wrong. If it was right, you were right. But you do your best. And you do not get to look at others and say that they should have to do more than you.
I can agree with that philosophy.
It's impractical.
Most of the world is impractical, I find.
Very true. Oh, I do need another cup of coffee, though. Where's the barmaid?
I always love a good cup of coffee. I probably drink more than is healthy for me.
Well, there are worse things.
So, once you've figured out the mystery of this necromancer and all the other things you're chasing, what do you think you will do? Continue helping people or see whatever comes next?
Well, yes. I'll help wherever I can. If I can't, I'll move on. And if I'm in trouble or making a problem, I'll move on. That's what I've been doing for the last good long while. That's what I'll do. I'll do as much good as I can and then move on. And I'll take care of these two chuckleheads. One too smart to look after herself. One too strong to be anything but a dummy.
Sounds like a good company to keep. And have you been recording your journeys?
I take my notes. I've locked them away. They're secreted. I'm a little worried about exactly... They're little parts I've had to edit out.
To protect people?
Well, no, to protect myself. Lorento Ryder. That's my name now. Shouldn't be telling you this.
Don't worry. It'll never leave me. I know how to keep a secret.
Lost a friend of ours. Good ranger lad. Handy with a bow. Big mouth on the boy. He pissed off the local crime lord up in the capital, and they put a hit on him. Price on his head. So I had to walk up, knock on their door, and introduce myself. And he learned something that no one else on this entire continent knows. My real name, well, Lorento is my real name. Ryder. That's actually my real name. Lorento Ryder. My father is the Baron Ryder, merchant king to the east. Big important guy. And he also runs a crime syndicate. About as large as this city. Bigger than the capitals, actually. So I showed up. I showed him this signet ring that I have here on my pinky. And I explained to him that if he wants to go to war with the Wall Riders, he can do that. He can do that. And my face, my grinning smile will be the last thing he sees before he dies, screaming in front of everyone he ever cared about. Or he can let this go. He could let this go. Those were his two options. And he found out something, that ranger friend of mine. He found out something about Lorento Ryder. Lorento Ryder, a little different from Lorento Ryder. He's a lot more like his father. I didn't hurt him. I didn't hurt him. But he had to leave. On the cover of night, he had to get out of the city. And he couldn't travel with us anymore. And as he was leaving, he told me something. That he did not like what he had found out about the Wall Ryder family. And he said something very kind to me. He called me Lorento Ryder one last time. And he ran off into the woods, and I haven't seen him since. He can't come back. They'll find him, and they'll kill him. So he's gone. But it's nice to know that I have a couple of friends. Not just these two. Not that they are not brilliant friends. But I do have a few more people on this continent that I can trust. Who are alive and happy because I'm here. And because of who I am. And are not dead because of who I was. Again, shouldn't be telling you that.
Sometimes we can't always pick where we're from, but we can make the best of it.
And we have saying where we're going.
I imagine this decision was this before or after you left home?
The ranger?
Yes.
That was just recently. That was before we headed off looking after this necromancer. Dangerous doing it with only 3 of us. Before it'd been better.
I get the feeling you're not particularly fond of your father.
No, that man is a rabid monster.
Is he why you had to leave and can't return?
He is, actually.
What happened?
When I found out who he was, I did not agree with it. I tried to get him shut down. And the authorities brought me to him, apologized for the inconvenience, and the men and women that he had paid to teach me how to sword fight, taught me my books and my reading and my maths, and taught me philosophy and taught me magic. They all beat me within an inch of my life and threw me in a dungeon.
Because you tried to do the right thing.
That's right. Still don't know where I got that fool idea in my head to do the right thing. But it's there.
Because you're not your father. You are your own person.
From your lips to the god's ears, I hope.
That's rough that you had to do that, but it is a good thing that you did.
Didn't matter. The authorities were on the take, so he had no repercussions. He had me thrown into the local lord's jail. Stayed there for 2 years. And to my credit, we got my cellmates. We started a little gang of our own and a little bit of an uprising. We broke out. I went home. He was so proud of me. I'd killed all those guards. So proud. I'm really a wool rider now. And I took a shiv that I'd carved the first day and I stuck it in his belly. Threw me out a window. Defenestrated. You know the word? Excellent word. It's very descriptive. He defenestrated me out a window. I landed in the surf. I heard him curse my name. For all I know, he assumes I'm still somewhere in that briny depth. I hope he does. We'd rather have no clue I'm alive. His son is dead. That's for the best.
I imagine things would go very poorly for you if he found out that you were still alive.
Things would be difficult. But we've got Zwergenfleisch. I've got Pip. Things might just go a little more difficult for him.
That is fair, but good news is I have some ways of making sure things don't come to light. I'll do what I can to help. You shouldn't have to live in the shadows because you did the right thing and because of who your father just happens to be.
I'm fine with the shadows. Worse things. That might be Zwergenfleisch. You may have started a ruckus downstairs.
At least it doesn't sound like they're getting into too much trouble.
Oh, no. Doesn't even sound like she started to rage yet. If she's quiet, you're fine.
Good to know. You're a good person, and I'm glad to have met you.
You're a lousy judge of character, and I'm very glad to have met you.
I tend to see more than most people see.
You're easier to talk to than you should be.
I guess that's part of my charm.
I'm sure only a part. I've need of another cup of coffee. Need another drink?
I could definitely stand for another drink, though I'm feeling a little better knowing that I have some friends here.
You do? Let me buy this round.
As long as next round's on me.
You drive a hard bargain, but I won't argue.
Tales of Adventure is directed and produced by me, Brianna Toiber, as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network. The music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what I'm doing and would like to support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/pseudonymsocial and choose one of the tiers connected to Tales of Adventure. You can also leave a review on iTunes to make our show easier to find for those who need it.
Hello and welcome to St. Fleur, where the city is modern, the fantasy is urban, and the faction politics are at an all-time high. Join us in Shadows of St. Fleur as we follow the wizard, Alistair Lockwood.
Regret to inform you, I'm not a wizard. I am a master of the arcane arts.
The scholar, Jeremiah Roderick Crawford.
I'm an earl, you know. And you're a baron. Those words carry some weight.
The wolf, Victor Margaret.
Victor stands on the bridge in the cold. Fuck.
The fae who is known only as Silk.
Do we know if this was a standard mugging?
And the vamp, Alex Giroux.
Quite. Because the first time the door opens, I'm going to push her out.
Through their experience in the city. Shadows of St. Fleur is an Urban Shadows actual play podcast with a majority LGBTQ+ cast playing characters finding their way through faction politics, all in pursuit of their own individual goals. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.